All right, so we've had some comedians on the show who started doing stand-up when they were still teenagers. They were young before they knew any other job.
Yeah, and then they stuck with it. Josh Sneed isn't that guy. He had a nice, stable job working for one of the world's largest consumer goods manufacturers, Procter & Gamble. You know them.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Then comedy called.
Yeah, hasn't stopped calling. Josh is back in Omaha, headlining at the Funny Bone. Good morning,
Nice
Josh.
to see you.
You like my veil?
Should we explain? You were having fun with the models and gowns.
I was. I took a nice picture that I can put up on Instagram.
The veil.
My mom is so proud I left that day job. Look at that. It's gorgeous.
Look how the veil trails down the back.
Yeah, I mean, you made it yourself.
It's sort of a milkmaid, Sally Field, flying nun kind of look.
We appreciate
very
the effort.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about Procter & Gamble. You work for
I gotta
Procter.
take this off.
Yeah, you can take it.
Oh, that's duct tape. It's stuck.
You duct tape
Just like a
your hair.
Band-Aid. Pull it really fast.
Go fast.
There you
Your hair
go.
looks nice, though.
That looks classy.
Fix you up. Okay. Here.
All right, we're good. We'll get there.
We'll get this segment going eventually. Okay, so we were talking. You worked at Procter & Gamble.
Yeah.
I
for a
did.
while.
Yeah, I was a computer guy, stuck in the basement of P&G in Cincinnati, and it wasn't for me. You know, like it was a good job, but you know, there's not a lot of funny people in IT. And all respect to the IT people here.
Right. No, I'm sure they'd take no offense at all. They're like, oh, we don't
But
care.
when you
It's
compare
true.
it to doing stand-up comedy for a living or being a computer guy, like it was a pretty easy choice.
So what was it like when you were sitting in these rooms with these other IT guys who were very different from you?
Going crazy, I
Yeah, you got all kinds of material coming
Yeah.
out of your mouth.
Well, that was their problem with me, is that I was maybe not taking the job as serious as I should have.
Right.
You know, they all had those successories posters of like, you know, an eagle soaring over a mountain that just said like driven, you know, like or something.
Right.
And I had like a telephone with cobwebs on it that said like apathy, you know, like maybe if we don't answer the phone, the customer will quit calling.
Right.
You know, so it wasn't a good fit for me, but. You know, that was 12 and a half years ago,
Yeah.
and I think I made the right decision.
So what you've done some competitions, and that's sort of how you got traction and got noticed.
A little bit, yeah. I did the newer version of Star Search with Ed McMahon, and then after I did my half-hour special for Comedy Central, they had a thing called the Stand Up Showdown. And where they basically take like 100 of their top comedians, and then people can vote on which ones they want to see in the countdown. And that year I came in second to Jeff Dunham, which is like to me coming in first. I mean, that guy, you know, plays arenas, but he also has like 4 puppets, and they were able to get like the puppet vote, which was actually a big part of the vote.
Puppeteer people.
Yeah, so so coming in second was like perfect for me,
Yeah.
and it got me a record deal with Comedy Central, and then. You know, things have just kept progressing since then.
And you're married.
Yes.
And
your
you're a
wife
dad.
and your dad as well.
Yeah.
I was looking at videos that you did online.
Oh, the vines that I did with my son. Yeah.
So is it hard because he's a little guy, and it's got to be
2.5.
tough being gone.
It is. It's a really weird spot for me in my life and in my career, because I've never had more of a reason to want to stay home, you know, and be a dad. But I also have never had more that I wanted to talk about on stage than I do right now. So I'm actually recording a new album next week, which it's kind of fun because in my last album, my wife was in the audience and I hadn't met her yet. She was in the audience when I recorded it. And so everything that's happened since then, which is all the stuff I'm talking about now, the engagement, the wedding, the pregnancy,
baby,
and now the baby, like that's all my new material, and it's all happened
So did she
since
think
my
you were
last
this
album.
good-looking, funny guy, and she wanted to meet you? How did you meet her if she's in the audience?
She was going through a bad breakup at the time.
You were the rebound guy.
I guess I kind of was, yeah. She added me on MySpace, which tells you it was a few years ago, and I hounded her. Like she didn't send me a message. She just added me as a friend or whatever, and I stayed on her. I was like, "What is going on? Like, it says you're in a relationship. And this needs to change." And she's like, "Actually, I am going through a bad breakup." And I was like, "Well, we need to hang out." But she, like, it was like 3 months before she agreed to hang out. She wanted to, you know, wash her hands of everything and be free and clear. So.
And then she was the one.
And then
But
I
you must
told
have known
her.
something.
I told her. I was like, "Well, when you do hang out with me, you know, it's for good." And I was right. I was totally right.
That's funny.
So what are you talking about these days? Obviously, you're talking about
Yep.
your family, your
Life.
kid.
Do you get into politics, sports,
No.
any of that?
Well, I get into sports,
Yeah.
not really on stage. I mean, I'm a big sports fan.
You're a
but
Bengals fan, aren't you?
diehard.
Yeah.
Bengals and Reds.
Yeah.
Which is in the past has been tough. They've made it really hard to be a fan. But
Yeah.
it's a good time to be a Cincinnati sports fan right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, mostly on stage. It's, being a dad, growing, like dealing with the fact that I'm growing up whether I want to or not.
Is it relatively clean? Because some people
Yeah.
want to go with their in-laws, for example. And if you're talking about it's just awkward
Yeah.
and hard. And so what kind of show
No,
are you putting on?
it's PG-13. My last album and this next one will be, I clean it up even more so that you can listen to it with anyone.
I love that. I think that's harder to do.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's,
Yeah,
it's
it
harder to
certainly is.
do, but we appreciate it more when you do it well.
Yeah. And there's times where I can be, a little edgier than others, but when it comes to like putting out an album or doing like a general show, like at the off chance that my mom or someone that knows my mom
Right.
is going to be in the audience, like
Yeah.
I want to be prepared to be able to do it where
It's
they
a
can
great
hear it.
filter.
It is.
Yeah.
a good
It
filter.
is.
And so, and you've also worked with a lot of the bigger names in the business as well, like Larry the Cable Guy. We're a
Yeah.
big fan of him.
Yeah.
around
Oh,
here.
yeah, of
Had a
course.
Dave
colonoscopy.
Chappelle.
I know.
Yeah.
Today
Well,
I saw it on Twitter.
He did. He had a colonoscopy the other day, yeah. But you work with those guys.
Yeah.
Is that-
Yeah. I was lucky. My manager, who I've been with for 10 years, used to be partners with the gentleman who manages Larry and Jeff Foxworthy and Billing Vault, and then my manager had Ron White. So it was a really cool time to join that group because they had just started branching out on their own. And there were a few of us that got to just sort of rotate as the opener for those guys. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely surreal.
Hard
I
to
mean,
beat.
10,000 people. It's the coolest you'll ever.
Well, you're headlining now.
I am.
At the Funny Bone back in Omaha. You can catch Josh tonight, a few shows, same story tomorrow, and then on Sunday at 7 o'clock. That number you see, that's to the Bone phone, but you can also swing by funnyboneomaha.com and pick up tickets there. Josh, thank you for coming in.
My
It's
pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Josh.
you.
Yeah, thanks
All
for
the
coming.
best.
I'm going on my honeymoon
And
now.
take,
you better get that
eat,
veil
some,
back.
eat some Skyline for me next time you go home.
I'll bring
okay?
you some.
Okay.
I'll bring you some.
Sounds good. All right. After you get tickets
don't know what
to
Skyline
see,
is.
it's
Is that a
chili.
restaurant?
No, yeah, it's
Chili.
Skyline Chili.
Kind of chilly.
After you get your tickets to see Josh, swing by our website. We are live at OmahaMorningBlend.com. Watch clips, connect with our guests, and more. There's always something new to see there.
Good chili, hot chili.
It's sweet
Spicy?
chili.
It's sweet.
Sweet chili.
with brown sugar, chocolate. It's
It's good
unique.
chili. Now we'll talk about that.
Thanks,
in a break.
Josh.
So what did
Look at
you
me.
make a New
Of
Year's
course, I know
resolution this year? If you're like most people who did,
Yeah.
you'll want to catch this next segment.
That's
coming up.
right. You probably resolved to take better care of yourself, working out, losing weight, and Fitness Friday, how a well-rounded approach to fitness might make the difference between struggling and succeeding. Thank you.